Today, we're going to take a look at Chloe Zhao's Nomadland and how it builds and then breaks a universe. The world is about to blow up. It's a nuclear holocaust. That's a monster rampaging across the planet again. And so on and so forth. High stakes movies have always been a big hit at the box office. But how often do you feel satisfied by the outcome of the movie? In fact, how many of those movies would you call a masterpiece? How many movies can you think of that revolve around a character and their universe? And how many of those would you then classify as a masterpiece, like Nomadland?
Not the same thing, right?
No.
Surely we should care more about the world blowing up than a woman going to live in her van, right? Right? And this goes back to something that's incredibly primal in us as human beings. As a tribe-based animal, our brains are finely tuned, so when we enter a room, we are instantly able to read social dynamics.
I don't want to disagree with you, but I have to say I do.
So what does that really mean for film? Well, film is a form of storytelling, and storytelling has been used for pretty much all of human history to hand down information. Information on what we should eat, predators we should avoid, and how we should act. What our morals should be. The 10 Commandments, I mean, hey, that's a biggie right there. Each of these stories are exactly the same thing as a film. We look to these stories to learn how to better be a human being.
You gave me a light back in Quartzsite.
Mm-hmm. You still have it?
No, that's long gone, but I do have this for you. Once you have it.
We can relate to one person's journey and deeply empathize with them more easily than we're able to empathize with 1,000 people simultaneously. It's just less relatable. What this means is quite often we're more moved by when a character loses their pet parrot, which had learnt the one line that their father used to tell them every day, than if an entire city blows up. To be honest, I kind of feel a little choked up about the parrot now.
Where do you want this?
So going back to Nomadland, how has Chloe Zhao set up Fern's universe for us to actually care about her journey? So at the start of the film, we meet Fern as she's sealing up all of her worldly possessions apart from what she's fit within her van. And she's in an incredibly cold and harsh environment. In this moment, we are told through very clever framing that she is isolated, that she has no one. And this sets us up to immediately empathize with her feeling of loneliness. And because most of us have felt a sense of loneliness at some point in our lives, we're able to empathize immediately with Fern, even though many of us have never had to put all of our worldly possessions in storage before. The act is not what Chloe's going for, it's the feeling of isolation.
You take care of yourself.
So as Fern has chosen this nomadic lifestyle, well, one of the most precious items to live this life is her means of transport, is her home on wheels, her van. So when the van eventually does break down, this beautifully challenges Fern's life up until this point. Earlier in the film, we learned that Fern is incredibly independent and proud. She doesn't ask anyone for help, so when the van breaks down and she's faced with a bill that she can't possibly afford, she's stuck in a situation where she has to face her own pride or lose the universe that she's creating for herself.
Taking that money and putting it towards a different vehicle.
Yeah, no, well, I can't do that. I can't do that, see, because, all right, I spent a lot of time and money building the Inside Out, and A lot of people don't understand the value of that, but it's not something like we can... I live in there.
So when she goes to visit her sister to borrow the money to fix her van, she's challenged by one of her sister's dinner guests to the way she lives her life, challenging her own concept of her universe. And she pushes back quite forcefully.
I mean, we're not all in a position to just chuck everything and hit the road.
Oh, you think that's what I've done, George? I chucked everything to hit the road? Is that what I did?
All right, I'm sorry.
You can see that she truly believes in this way of life, but we also start to understand that maybe she's running away from her past by constantly moving, constantly being on the road. So we ask the question, is the van really a means for her to avoid her past?
What the nomads are doing is not that different than what the pioneers did. I think Fern's part of an American tradition. I think it's great.
Believe it or not, another incredibly important element of Fern's universe are her plates. So early in the movie, we learn that Fern has put some plates in her van which mean a great deal to her. They were gifted to her by her deceased father, and so they have pride of place inside her deceased husband's tackle box.
My dishes that my dad gave me, he collected these, Linda May, from yard sales. And when I graduated from high school, he gave me the whole set.
Oh,
Isn't that great?
And brilliantly, Chloe Zhao has put the moment in which the plates are broken dead smack center in the middle of the movie. This is the first time that Fern is truly challenged to let go of her past. But we are in the middle of the movie, so she shouldn't be ready just yet. And so said, so done, she ends up supergluing the plates back together again. So what this means is Chloe is arguing that many of the items that we keep hold of for sentimental reasons can also act as an anchor holding us back in our lives. What's beautiful here is Fern's entire universe is a result of a deeply relatable human emotion. This is a story exploring grief and how it affects us, what we do with it, and how we can move past it.
You sure you don't need any of this stuff?
No, don't need any of it. I'm good. I'm not gonna miss one thing.
So as we join Fern on her nomadic life, we also witness a person who pushes many people away. She's also chosen a life on purpose to avoid creating more bonds and connections as a form of protecting herself from more pain and hurt that she still hasn't dealt with from her previous life.
You want to come with me?
Maybe I can visit sometime.
Great.
Bye.
Night.
So when we see that she's formed deep and beautiful bonds with other nomads, and they give her the chance to move back to a more traditional life, to give up being a nomad, and she pushes them away, she pushes that opportunity away, we realize that she has actually found what she was looking for. She's found a sense of purpose and community within this nomadic life.